Hey, how's it going? Got some great comments on my last video I did about what's wrong with American Top 40 music these days. I suggested part of the problem may have something to do with song structure. What's happening is it seems that a lot of people are gravitating towards country music because, who knows why? Maybe it has to do with song structure, that was my suggestion. Simply because most of the top 40 music is very simple song writing, song structure, be it loops or live instruments. You have verse, chorus, B section, verse, chorus. Where country music will get a little more intricate. They'll have bridges between their verses and choruses. You know, every verse and chorus. Sometimes multiple bridges in a song and really nice B sections. It's just better songwriting musically. Not that I like the music, but it's structured a little more intricate. And people like that, I think. So maybe that's part of the problem. So back to these comments. Good comments. And a lot of it got me thinking and got me wanting to kind of almost do like a vlog improvisational style video for you. The first comment that got my attention was one gentleman who suggested that a lot of the reason that people like new country is because the country artists are writing their own music and the top 40 guys don't do that. So it's more from the heart and people can feel that, and that's why they like country. Well, guess what? This is not always the case. Most of the time, it's not the case. First of all, let me clarify that this is not a new phenomenon. There have always been songwriters. Going back to the early 20th century, Cole Porter was one of the most popular songwriters in what we call the Great American Songbook, our music of the 20th century. Frank Sinatra made a career from singing Cole Porter songs. Today, we have people like Diane Warren. Now, if you don't know who Diane Warren is, look her up. She's a very eccentric individual, to say the least. But she's written everything for everybody. Look at her body of work. It's absolutely incredible. Now, if you do not own something by Diane Warren in your music collection, you're lying. Because you do. You have something by Diane Warren somewhere in your music collection. She's written everything. And she writes for everyone. Country and top 40. What also happens is sometimes an artist can sing and they can play, but they can't always write. They can write a little bit, or maybe they want to write. So what the record label will do is they'll bring in a professional writer and they'll do like a thing. They'll be like co-written their song. They'll have, you know, credits as writer in big bold and then co-written by, and then somebody, I don't know, not Diane Warren, but you know, somebody has written with them, because it is a business, and when you're in business you want to take the least amount of chances as possible. So the more professionals you can bring into a project to make it definitely fly or have a better chance of flying, you know, the better chance you have of making a profit. You're going to do everything you can do to maximize that profit, to create the best song that you can, or the most marketable song you can. Yeah, it's all a business. So anyway, I just wanted to nip that one in the bud. Now that doesn't mean these people are not writing their own music. They absolutely are. In fact, not only in country, but some of these rappers are writing their own rhymes. It does happen. The other comment that got my attention that I wanted to touch on, and I'm not going to try to offend anybody here, and in fact I have no intention of offending anybody here, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Christian contemporary music because somebody said, hey, that stuff's pretty good. I have problems with the whole concept of contemporary Christian music. And these are my issues. First issue would be with the people who are doing most of the performance and writing of this Christian contemporary music. It seems that they're only writing about God and spirituality. Now, doesn't that seem odd to you? I mean, if you're an artist and you write, don't you think that you would write about whatever happened to be on your mind? Or would you just write about one thing? Well, why would you do that? Why would you only write about one thing? My thought is maybe to sell it to an audience who wants to buy that one thing. So it's marketing, man. That stuff is so marketing. And that clique, that whole clique of the Christian contemporary music people, the WOW people and whatever, I don't know who they are. I pay so little attention to them because it just bugs me. They are very elitist and extreme. And the reason I say this is, what if What if an artist wrote a song about God or spirituality that was beautiful, poetic, and something that really touched a lot of people? What if they were secular artists, meaning that that's not all they wrote? Maybe they wrote rock and roll too. Maybe they wrote music about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but then they did this beautiful song about God or about spirituality. Don't you think that they would also qualify to be part of this Christian clique, or at least get some airplay? They're not, because this group is, they pick and choose. And isn't the saying that God hates the sin but loves the sinner? Well, maybe the Christian music people, powers that be, should think about that and stop denying themselves some beautiful music that's been written. I'm going to play you some examples of that here in a little bit. And a lot of this is extremism. This is an extreme society now. Everything's extreme. Extreme energy drink. My daughter watches cartoons. They have extreme breakfast cereals and extreme skateboarding and extreme anything you can think of. Everything's very extreme. Politics are extreme. We have extremist groups out there for everything. You name it. There's an extremist group out there. Their main focus in life is this one cause and nothing else matters. The politicians have sorted this out and they said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take a stance for this extreme group over here, so I'll get all their votes. Even if they don't agree with the rest of my politics, doesn't matter, because I'm going to be the guy who is going to be for extreme hula hooping. So I'll get all the extreme hula hoop people on my side. I'll get their vote. And there's thousands of them, and it's growing every day because people love to join clubs, and a lot of people just don't like to think for themselves sometimes. A lot of people rode the short bus to school too. Alright, so anyway, yeah, extremism is a bad thing because I feel like what it does is separate people. And extreme points of view very much give you a narrow mind. So I try not to have extreme points of view on things. Sometimes I do. I'm guilty of it, but I try not to. I try to be open-minded. And so yeah. One more thing I want to comment on before I play you my cool songs about God and spirituality by non-Christian artists is someone else said something that really struck a chord with me. Because of what I said about hip-hop, he agreed. And then he said, well, I hope they don't call us racist for saying that. That bothered me. And I'm thinking to myself, why would they call me racist? Because I didn't like new hip-hop music. It's got nothing to do with it. Believe it or not, okay, assuming most hip-hop artists are black, not all black people like hip-hop. And if I was being a racist, then I would have to get rid of my James Brown, Earth, Wind and Fire, Prince, half of my disco albums. That's ridiculous. That's not even valid. Has nothing to do with race. Has everything to do about music. So let's listen to some cool music about God and spirituality by non-Christian artists, just for fun. These are just a few of my favorites. Practice and enjoy.